Good morning, everyone!
Hello, and welcome to the end of our week, and of course, the start really of what should be a blessed Holy Week season. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Last working day of the week for most people. Let's make this Holy Wednesday a good one with some laughter, inspiration, and unstoppable energy. I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. Today is going to be one of my favorite episodes because I've been manifesting this and it worked. I've been talking about the Dubai chocolate for the longest time.
Since when?
Since we talked about it and you went to Dubai.
And?
Even
you
before
brought it.
that,
There
actually,
you
even
go.
before that,
Since the start, when that chocolate became so viral,
but
everybody wanted to get
I
their hands
haven't
on
tried it since Paolo brought it, so after that, I was hooked. And I can't get my hands on it, but you know what? The chef is here. So if I can't get my hands on it, I invited the chef here.
Cannot get enough.
Cannot get enough. I can't even say it correctly. Cannot get enough. Do it nga, Pao.
I just did.
Do it again.
Cannot forget enough.
Cannot
Well, there are different ways to pronounce it, apparently.
Yeah,
We're going to discover more
It's like
about
tomato,
that.
but I'm just
syempre,
excited for him.
I just want to
be
remind
here.
people that recipe did come from a Filipino chef who we're so grateful to have
Yes,
here.
that's right.
And not only that, may samples. Pero the
at
hard
Anne's
part
face.
is, Anne's face is like that kasi naka-intermittent fasting siya.
So you
Paano
can't
yan?
eat actually?
No, I'm breaking my fast.
No, you
just
can't
now.
No, you can't, you can't. No.
Guys, remember we had an interview with a priest yesterday and Anne told the priest that she's intermittent fasting.
did not say
That's
that.
a sin if you break your fast. Holy Wednesday pa ngayon.
Halatang hindi nakikinig si
Oh
Bo
my
because what
gosh.
you said was bawal ang intermittent fasting.
hindi niya naiintindihan
Hindi
kasi
naintindihan, di ba kasi Tagalog?
Whatever, that's my own interpretation.
Wala, ang labo. You're gonna fail the essay test.
hindi naman the interpretation, is more translation,
So
alright?
at least, you know what? I got the context clues. Basta bawal si Anne to eat today. You
So
cannot.
more for you, in other words.
So more for me and more for Pao.
Okay, sige, I'm not fighting against that. But of course, we're all tangled up in translations. Let's figure out whether or not we'll be tangled up in traffic today.
Let's go find out. Let's take a look at the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Guys, this is the situation along EDSA White Plains. You'll see on the left side of your screens the vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. On the right side are the vehicles headed to Cubao. Light traffic on both sides of EDSA this morning. Now let's check out the live feed from EDSA Orense in Makati. Wow, on the left side of your screens, the southbound lane going to Pasay. On the right side is the northbound lane going to Shaw Boulevard. And yes, the same situation on both sides of EDSA, light traffic. So no problem this morning. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's a Wednesday. Vehicles with license plates ending in 5 and 6 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Meanwhile, all hands on deck for airport officials as they expect the influx of passengers during the Holy Week exodus. Officials unveiled an exclusive immigration lane for overseas Filipino workers Tuesday. Aside from prioritizing our overseas workers, it is also geared toward curbing the crowd in the main immigration area. Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon says this is a good example of the government and the private sector working together to improve the services for commuters.
Holy Tuesday, it's 5 a.m. peak hours and walang pila sa immigration. And makakaasa po mga kababayan natin na itong cooperation na to, tuloy-tuloy ito, para hindi kang pang Holy Week to, talagang araw-araw ng ganito.
Now let's find out what the weather is going to be like on this Wednesday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Paolo.
Thank you so much for that, Mo. Today's weather, the easterly winds will sweep across the archipelago. Now, this will result in a noticeably humid atmosphere. Now, the shift will lead to a rise in temperatures, making the day feel even warmer and amplifying the humidity levels throughout the entire region. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at Luzon first. The weather will be generally fair, but residents should brace themselves for intense heat. Areas such as Aloag, Tuguegarao, Pangasinan, and Nueva Ecija, Pili, Camarines Sur, and Metro Manila, right over here, can expect sweltering conditions as the sun will shine brightly overhead. Now moving down south to the Visayas region, locations like Iloilo, Metro Cebu, and Bohol, as well as Tacloban, are likely to experience pleasant weather conditions with plenty of sunshine and clear skies. As you can see here, temperatures within a relatively normal range in the middle of the country. Now moving down south to Mindanao, the warm easterly winds will bring partly cloudy skies accompanied by the likelihood of scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, particularly in certain areas. Now, everybody is urged to remain vigilant as the heat intensifies, especially over here. As you can see, Zamboanga with a 34 degrees Celsius. And if I move on over to the side, you can see with Davao and General Santos with 35 and 34 degrees Celsius, respectively. So, we mentioned the air temperature, but let's delve into the current heat index forecast from Pag-asa and how the easterly winds are contributing to the alarming temperatures we're going to experience throughout the day. Now, several regions across the country are facing perilously high heat levels, which can pose serious health risks. Now, the heat index is a reminder that it is the air and humidity all bunched up together, which is going to be the feels-like temperature in certain areas. In Los Baños, Laguna, the heat has particularly oppressive levels, soaring to an oppressive heat index of 50 degrees Celsius. That's right, 50 degrees Celsius just yesterday. Forecasts suggest that this extreme heat is likely to persist throughout the day, keeping Los Baños firmly planted in the danger zone, with another forecasted peak of 50 degrees Celsius. This level of heat can be extremely hazardous to health. Following closely is San Ildefonso in Bulacan, which is bracing for an equally stifling heat index of 47 degrees Celsius. Other regions experiencing the intense heat include Hacienda Luisita in Tarlac, Sangli Point in Cavite, and Tanawan in Batangas, all anticipating a blistering heat index of 44 degrees Celsius. Now, this will add to the discomfort and potential danger for residents, so kindly keep safe and hydrated throughout the day. In addition, there are several areas that are categorized within what we call the danger zone. Now, temperatures are projected to reach a heat index of 43 degrees Celsius in areas including Itiague in Isabela, Baler in Aurora, and Catarman in northern Samar. Furthermore, a variety of locations are also enduring high temperatures, reflected in a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius. Now, these include Metro Manila, Tuguegarao City, Iba Zambales, Clark Pampanga, and San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. Heat index of 42 degrees Celsius are also expected over in Coron, Palawan, Pili, Camarines Sur, Rojas, Capiz, Iloilo City, and Dumangas, Iloilo. With such extreme heat levels across regions, everyone must prioritize their health, stay hydrated, and limit prolonged exposure to direct sunlight, and look after those who may be in a more vulnerable situation in your community, such as the elderly and young children. Now, their well-being is important throughout these scorching days, so do watch out for them. Now, when it comes to the sea conditions, there are still no gale warnings that infect this time. This indicates that it is generally safe for our fishermen and seafarers, as well as the travelers going out of the metro in particular, to venture out to sea. However, it is important to remain vigilant and keep an eye on updates, as weather conditions can shift unexpectedly. Always prioritize safety when planning any maritime activities. That's it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, girls.
Thank you so much, Pao, for that weather update. Vice President Sara Duterte formally endorses the re-election bid of presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos. Senator Marcos shares the VP herself chose black as her campaign color. On a video posted on Facebook, Duterte and Amy both wore black, saying they are mourning the current state of the administration. It was posted with the caption, "Itim," which stands for Inday Trusts Amy Marcos.
Siya ang nagsasabi na wala siya sa mood, na talagang itim at luksa ang pakiramdam ng nakararami katulad niya. Hindi naman angkop na magsayaw-sayaw, hindi naman tama na magmumotor. Wala na sa lugar sa panahong ito na napakahirap ng dinadanas ng ating mga mamamayan.
Amy clarifies that she had long been friends with VP Sara and that her endorsement is not a reward for leading the Senate probe into former President Rodrigo Duterte's arrest.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says he does not trust Senator Amy Marcos. But he says he will still vote for the presidential sister for the sake of Vice President Sara Duterte. Roque is currently in the Netherlands, where he is seeking asylum for the political persecution he claims he is facing in the Philippines.
Kung si Inday Sara Duterte naman na pinagdadaanan ng napakadaming pagsusubok ay nagdesisyon na suportahan na si Mangga Amy Marcos, mangga pa rin ang mga Marcos, hindi pa rin dapat pagkatiwalaan ng mga Marcos, bantayin pa rin natin at pagdating ng panahon, parusahan ang mga Marcos. Pero sa ngayon, may kadahilanan po ang Inday Sara, kaya niya iniindulso ang Amy Marcos, suportahan na lang po natin ang ating Inday Sara Duterte.
Senator Amy Marcos describes the country as dark and bleak in her new campaign slogan. But Malacanang says this is not a reflection of today, but years past.
Mas madidescribe siguro natin nung nakaraang administrasyon na sobrang itim at ngayon ay papaliwanag sa panahon ng kasalukuyang administrasyon. Hindi man ganun pakaputi.
Undersecretary Claire Castro adds that incidents of poverty and crime are lower during the current administration than in the past. She clarifies that President Bongbong Marcos does not agree with any negative campaigning, especially ones based on fake news.
Another town in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM, is placed under COMELEC control. The poll body will take over Buluan town in Maguindanao del Sur over election-related violence. The COMELEC says this is a threat to the peaceful and orderly conduct of the polls. A local candidate in Buluan was killed over an ambush. Two towns in Maguindanao del Norte were also placed under COMELEC control over an ambush that killed an election officer and his wife.
7 cops who were tagged as persons of interest in the shooting of Albuera Leyte mayoral candidate Kerwin Espinosa tested negative in paraffin tests. But the Philippine National Police says they are still not completely off the hook, as the test results could be affected by simply wearing gloves and washing hands. For now, the cops face illegal possession of firearms during the gun ban. PNP also says the compound where the persons of interest were caught is owned by a politician who they will not name now during the investigation. Espinosa was shot on April 10 while on a campaign.
The Armed Forces is gearing up for its series of joint military exercises with the United States and other partner countries. Some U.S. troops and its military equipment have arrived in the country for the annual Balikatan exercises, which begin on April 21st. The Defense Department also confirms it is expecting the Trump administration to approve $2 billion in military aid from America. This is on top of the $500 million commitment from the previous Biden administration. The Armed Forces says the 20 F-16 fighter jets from the U.S. is a much welcome addition in its efforts for territorial defense. But President Marcos has yet to make a final decision regarding this.
We are going to have active observers coming from the JSDF, the Japanese Self-Defense Force. What was also not mentioned is that we now have I forgot the number, pero nadagdagan yung mga international observers program namin. We have additional countries like the Czech Republic, Poland, and I think nakahabol yung Colombia.
We're hoping na darating itong mga ito, yung mga weapon systems na galing sa US Army, yung Typhoon, at yung galing sa US Marines, yung Nemesis. Dahil kailangan ay mag-train tayo dito sa mga modern weapons na ito, dahil nga kung sakali na someday we will get this weapon systems in our inventory, marunong na tayo kung paano natin gamitin ito.
Moving on to world news, the Trump administration calls on Harvard University to apologize, the White House said on Tuesday. This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump froze Harvard's $2.2 billion multi-year grants on Monday. In response to the funding freeze, Harvard rejected numerous policy changes, including eliminating diversity programs, banning masks at campus protests, and ensuring merit-based hiring practices. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had explained their action as an effort to curb anti-Semitism on college campuses, but Harvard maintains it would not cede control to a government that portrays them as dangerously leftist. In France, visitors turn emotional visiting Notre Dame on the 6th anniversary of the devastating fire that caused major damage to the Paris cathedral. French President Emmanuel Macron held an awards ceremony on Tuesday, honoring those who contributed to its restoration. Notre Dame now welcomes an average of 30,000 visitors per day after it reopened in December of last year.
I had already visited it several times before, having lived in Paris, and to have seen it burn, that was really very strange. And indeed, to have put, let's say, a lot of money into rebuilding it, that's something I personally think is good. It's an important monument.
It's very emotional, and it's wonderful that they were able to restore it, and it's just amazing to see all these crowds. It's just an amazing building. We were talking about the design is just beyond phenomenal.
Over in sports, strong start for Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala as she prepares for the French Open. The women's world number 72 shut down Anouk Kuvermans of the Netherlands Tuesday at the Orias Ladies Open in Portugal. Ayala, the tournament's top seed, used a balanced scoring attack against her Dutch opponent to enter the round of 16. She awaits the winner of the match between Hungary's Pana Udvardi and Dutch player Lian Tran. Alex will also be in doubles action later alongside her partner Katie Volinets of the US. Now, here's a unique invitation for boxing legend Manny Pacquiao, coming all the way from Niagara Falls in Canada. With the famed falls in background, Mayor Jim Diodati extended an invitation to the eighth division world champion, asking him to help unveil the bust of national hero Jose Rizal in June. This is to commemorate Jose Rizal's visit to the Niagara Falls back in 1888. The People's Champ, though, has yet to respond to Diodati's invitation.
I hope that you will honor and accept my invitation to join us here this summer. And by the way, the ice will be melted, the weather will be beautiful. All we'll need is you. Nakita-kita tayo. Salamat.
All right, so my question is, Mo, did you know that Jose Rizal went to Canada?
No, I had no idea. So when I watched that video yesterday, when you sent that, I said, what? And kudos to the mayor. He speaks better Tagalog than me.
I don't think that's on the mayor and more on you.
I mean, he sounds great, so I'm just saying.
It sounded actually more natural.
Probably, just a bit.
Yeah.
But I personally want to be there. So, Mayor, if you need more Filipinos there, let me know. There's very little times I ask. But
You should be
I've always wanted to see the
there when
Niagara Falls.
Pacquiao goes there.
Yeah, why
for
not?
that
Why
unveiling.
not?
You can be
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao's bodyguard.
No. He has a posse that's big enough for that. Trust me.
You can be part
but
of
no,
it.
I can be part of the people covering it for sure, and that would be
See?
really great. And
Hopefully.
of course, I mean, you go all around the world, and it's so surprising to see different Jose Rizal shrines all over the world. There's one in London. There's a couple in Spain. Obviously, there's one in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because when we guested his great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter, Max,
Maxine,
right?
yeah.
She said that most people didn't know he traveled a lot, actually.
He did,
So that
yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And Niagara Falls apparently one of those places.
Yeah,
for sure.
it was just a stop, right? It
Yeah.
was just a stop during his train ride. Yeah.
Well, speaking of traveling all over the world, let's talk about entertainment. Movie stars, singers, and celebrities appeared at Dior's Fall 2025 collection in Kyoto yesterday. Among the guests was Japanese actress Anna Sawai, known for her roles in the Shogun series and Fast and Furious movies. Other guests include actresses Monica Barbero and Elle Macpherson, and Japanese celebrity Tomohisa Yamashita. Dior's fall collection featured loose trousers, wide-sleeve jackets, and airy dresses with glittering flower patterns. Now coming up, the visionary behind the world-famous Dubai Chocolate is a Filipino. Chef Nouel Catis will join us live after the break to talk about his masterpiece and more. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Filipinos are a formidable force in the culinary scene, both here and abroad. Our guest today is the genius behind the widely popular Dubai Chocolate Knafeh, a dish that people simply can't get enough of. But here's the good news. You don't have to go to Dubai to taste his creations because he's bringing that magic right here at home. Now joining us live is Chef Nouel Catis. It's a beautiful day, Chef. Thank you for making time to see us.
It was a really early morning call, but well, I'm happy. It's chocolate day, so let's do it.
It is. You know what, Chef? Your viral Dubai chocolate really took the world by storm and social media. And thank you, Paolo, for when you went and for bringing us the chocolate. We can't knafeh enough of it. Did I say it correctly?
Now, well, close.
Close enough. Si Chef na pag ganito. But Chef, take us back to when you started creating the viral Dubai chocolate and how it came about.
So I love kunafa as a dessert. So it's actually a Middle Eastern cheesecake version. So you have the cheese, you have kataifi, and that's it. But since it's my go-to Middle Eastern dessert, that's how actually I thought about putting it together in a chocolate bar. So it was in 2022 when I started with the original version of the recipe, which actually was so different from what you've tried now. So it contained actually a layer of Kinder Bueno. I'm sure you guys know Kinder Bueno so well.
Yes.
So that was the original take on the recipe. And then later on when it was developed by Fix, they removed some of the elements and it became what it is at the moment.
What were the challenges that you had to face when you were perfecting this particular chocolate? Because I know that chocolate is temperamental to work with. It's really hard to work with. I remember when I was studying baking and pastry arts, when our chef instructor was teaching us how to temper chocolates, I was like, I'm not going to do this for a living.
You need to work like a scientist.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's difficult. So what were the challenges that you had to face?
The challenges, the main thing actually is putting a dessert in a chocolate bar. Because first and foremost, when you put something that's liquid or that doesn't hold, the chocolate breaks. So it took me kind of like half a year to reach to a point where I was like, okay, I got the formula, I got the way to do it to make it perfect. And yeah, that was really the main thing for me, was how to put dessert in a chocolate bar.
You know, when I look at that, it's such a big part of a Middle Eastern culture, the knafeh. I mean, like you go around and people would actually, if you're around Dubai in particular, you go around and people are saying like, hey, you should try knafeh. When you put those two things together, it feels like it's a reflection of where you have been. Simply because from what I understand is that you want to put your experience into your own creations, and you are UAE based, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I've been living in the UAE for 16 years now, so I've become more like a fixture there. And I have just developed this fancy for Middle Eastern flavors with a little bit of my own twist as a Filipino. So you know, just being proud about how I could actually master the craft for Middle East, but coming from the Philippines is quite a unique, you know, twist together.
Did you imagine that you would go as viral as you would?
I had never imagined, because I've been used to doing stuff for many brands. So, you know, like imposter syndrome, like you're happy cheering for them, but you didn't realize you actually should be cheered for, you know, for what you've done.
Yeah, no, honestly. And I love that you're not only putting yourself as a Filipino chef on the map, you're also putting the Philippines on the map. So I just want to ask a personal question for you as a chef. What Filipino dish or maybe ingredient do you want to highlight the most for the world to see that they can't knafeh enough? At the end of this interview, I'll get it.
I don't think so. We've been trying all day. So go on, Chef.
Ube is my personal favorite, and because of the color and the flavor is not easy to approach, but if you can be clever enough to make it really so popular, then so be it. So I'm working on an ube flavor. Actually, we released in Dubai already, but in the Philippines we will also do a launch.
You actually have an ube baklava,
That's
right?
correct.
Ube baklava.
Di naman overwhelming.
Actually, you know, the interesting thing about the ube baklava, because you know, I fuse Filipino and Middle Eastern, it contains some ingredients I can't reveal now, but it has some elements. But my main thing is it has cashew nuts, Because I think it's something really Filipino with our silvanas and other
Yes,
desserts.
right. Yes.
And I love cashew nuts as well. I snack on it almost every day if I have to. So I put them together.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
probably where you will get all those flavors with this new release.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And when you came
for
out with that ube baklava variant, how was it received there in Dubai?
So we have Dubai Chocolate, and the ube was the second most selling item.
Wow.
Because as they said, if you release the first album, it's so hard to do the second album.
yes,
So Ube
yes.
Baklava is our second album.
Yeah, and it's doing well apparently.
Yes.
And we're
It
all
is.
excited for that. But you know, you mentioned that you have been in the UAE for quite some time. You stay in touch with your Filipino roots as well,
That's correct.
especially with your ube baklava. But then when we talk about the palette that you have right now, I don't know how to describe it because it's for international, but at the same time, you still are so in touch with your Filipino roots. Just when you create because you've been doing this, you know, even way before the fixed chocolate experience and what we're seeing right now, ube. How would you say you developed this particular talent, this particular skill?
It's really hard for me to point my finger to a particular scenario or how to describe it.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was young, I was watching Jack Torres. I don't know if you guys remember Jack Torres. So he was the iconic chocolatey. So I watched his show and I just wanted to be like him. And I think the journey came full circle kind of when I went to Dubai.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's just a lot of things going on. Dubai wants to be like, you know, on top of the world, like the best they could ever be. And I fell in love with the Arabic flavors. And they always ask me like, how did you put them together? And my only joke right now is that probably before I became a Filipino, I was living in the desert.
Well, deserts in Dubai, hindi sa Pawai, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of the things that you brought here because you're actually working with hospitality.
Yeah,
Yes.
you teamed up with 3 of the different
did.
restaurants
I
to
did.
bring a new collaboration of
That's
the
correct.
viral Dubai
Dubai
chocolate.
chocolate.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
what those are.
I did a chocolate crepe with pistachio kunafa. And we also did a burrito soft serve with pistachio kunafa. And I brought for you here as well mochis with Dubai chocolate spin.
And I heard there's mascarpone cream inside.
Yes, there
Anything
is.
with mascarpone,
You love.
I will die. I want to swim in mascarpone.
And mochi is like heaven.
All right.
It is.
Are these for display or are these for sampling?
Can we try them?
You can, but there's a cherry on the top though. That's my brand. This thing on top of it.
Okay, let's talk about it. So I don't think what most people know is you're actually not with the leading viral Dubai chocolate fix anymore. Let's talk more about that, Chef.
Yes.
You have your own brand.
So I have my own brand because people were clamoring like, Chef, why, we want to see you more, like do your own spin, do your own stuff because we want to be behind you. So I released Snap in October last year.
Okay.
And since then, people have been snapping.
I love that. I actually love the name,
Yeah,
Snap.
Snap, yeah.
It's so cute, and especially when you snap a chocolate
Yes,
bar.
exactly, yeah.
Adorable.
That's why we have it.
But you know what, Chef?
Feel free.
I
Feel
am
free to try.
eyeing the mochi. Can we all go ahead?
Sure. Mo, you can go first.
Yes.
All right, but
Take a
Chef,
bite.
when you take a look at the experience that you want everyone to come home with, because it's so, there's just so much. Wait, let's wait for this.
The moment.
Oh my.
All right, Chef. So when you try to encourage or try to craft experiences for your customers, so you know, what do you want them to come home with? Because it's such a, it's so indulgent sometimes, chocolate,
Right,
but then
yeah.
it's so creative as well, and the spin that you put on this is obviously a different level.
I just look at the childhood memory, and I've delivered this on my TED Talk. Actually, my speech was about how you actually make people fall in love with your food, with your cooking, and it really boils down to nostalgia. Like I always remember in my childhood what made me happy, and since we're all like in diaspora, we're all over the world. What makes you fall in love again with your childhood? And that will be the flavors you have had when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So that's the secret.
It's a chocolate for you, for
Yes,
sure.
it is.
Wow.
And that's the vehicle for people to, because chocolate, everybody loves chocolate.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you have a favorite chocolate that growing up that really influenced you?
Chocolate.
Everybody loves chocolate.
chocolate,
Yeah. When was
I'm out
that?
of words. Sorry, Chef.
Yeah, please.
This is
All right,
so
go ahead.
good.
So I know that growing up, you got your cooking influence from your mom,
Yes.
I believe. Yes. So when was that moment when you realized that, you know what, I want to focus on chocolate. I want to focus on desserts.
It was when I failed in my cooking class with my family.
You failed?
When they didn't like what I was cooking.
No, but what were you cooking?
Yeah,
What did you cook?
I cooked kare-kare and I burnt the
no.
rice to make it thick.
Oh, no.
And they said, this is such a waste. You know, why you made this? And it wasn't even delicious. So I remember that really well. And that's when I realized, you know what, I'm not really for cooking. So I tried baking, and that's when I said, this is me.
There was your path. You had to
Exactly.
burn kare-kare to
Exactly.
find the right path for you. But you know what? If you could have a conversation with your younger self back then, when you were starting out, when you burnt that kare-kare, what would you tell your younger self? What advice would you give?
I probably would just tell myself, because I was really shy and very timid. I would tell myself to just be yourself and don't be scared to experiment.
Yes.
Because what I'm doing now is really more about innovation, and you have to fail many times before you reach
That's
success.
true.
Right?
Especially if you're working with chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Chef, I was too preoccupied. That mochi was another level.
Oh my God, sinubo lahat!
Wow!
Kalma! Dessert is
That
supposed
was
to be...
so big. I had like 7 bites and Pao had 2.
Dessert is supposed to be savored.
Yes.
Small bites.
Chef, when you...
So she's fasting, right? So
She's
not
fasting,
gonna
so
have
that's
that.
me and
Okay.
Paolo's na. Don't touch it,
No, I'm
please.
saving this for later. Thank you, Chef.
Okay.
I'll keep it na. I'll keep it na.
But Chef, when you play around with flavors like this, how? I mean, I want to know your creative process. I know I asked you that in the
Yes.
beginning, but to combine mochi, which is Japanese, knafeh, Middle Eastern,
Yes.
mascarpone, Italian.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't know how you just come up with it and it works so well.
There's really there is a formula, but in the end, you need to just trust your guts based on your experience. But the key element, again, is always about nostalgia, all about heritage. You have to stay true to, like, for example, it's a Japanese concept. So you have to use the mochi as the vehicle. And you stuff it with something that works, which is the Dubai chocolate. And the mascarpone actually is an element they've been using in the recipe. So it's already a proven formula. So don't break anything. It's already working well.
Right. And
Yeah.
did this partnership push you out of your comfort zone?
Yes, it did. It did.
For sure, right?
It did, yeah.
Because, I mean, I have no words on how good it was.
Was there a particular ingredient in these collaborations that you've never worked with before?
You know, the thing about, because this is my homecoming and my first collab ever, so I really was a bit nervous because I thought I probably have forgotten how, people here in the Philippines now are craving for their desserts. How they want it presented. So that was, I think, the element that actually, more than the ingredients, that made me kind of nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not, you don't need any more validation, but I hope our reactions were validated.
I can't wait to try the other two.
Yeah, but when we look at the fact that, it feels like a Filipino cuisine in general, Filipino pastries, and as a whole, it feels like we're always seeking that validation. We're always seeking that international recognition. And you're already at the forefront of trying to be able to push that with your ube baklava, for sure.
Right.
But when you take a look at what Filipino pastries are, if you were to introduce it to those who are not too familiar with it, how would you describe it? And how would you find a way to really present it to a more foreign palate?
I always look at the more of the natural format of our ingredients, like, where we have a lot of nuts like pili nuts, cashew, ube. They're all like earthy, nutty tones. So the way I look at it, it's more of like a tropical kind of flavor. So when they ask me about it, I just tell them, like, imagine, you're in a tropical area and these are the flavors you enjoy: coconut, pineapple. And that's how I try to fuse together between the flavors of the Arabic world, for example. But I don't want to stop there. I want to dominate, like, as much of many countries. Yeah, if I can.
Over the world.
So, but
You're
I
taking
really
over the
want to
world
make
slowly,
sure.
but surely,
I
Chef.
want to make sure we have our Filipino pride stamped on the creation.
Yeah, one more from me here, because you have so much Filipino inspiration in your creations, but you live so far away.
Yes.
Does that actually keep you connected to being at home?
Because I will be flying here almost every month beginning next month. So that's part of the plan to get more connected. And because I do come home every year, once a year, and I do try to explore, but I've never, actually it's only on this trip, I was able to explore more restaurants and see how people or Filipinos enjoy their desserts or food in general. So this is the moment where I can actually get that kind of feel again on how we are all enjoying it here in Manila, for example.
Yeah, Chef, I just want to say thank you for the most amazing breakfast I've ever had in my life.
Dessert for breakfast.
That was the best ever. I want to do a quick game with you, like a quick fire question.
Sure. Okay.
So what's your favorite dessert when no one's watching?
Oh, champorado.
Oh, champorado.
With tuyo.
With tuyo, okay.
I know it's breakfast, but it's still my dessert.
I mean, it can be for whenever.
Yeah.
Breakfast is life, and it's
feel-good
all
food.
day.
Yes.
Yeah. One ingredient you can't live without.
That you
I
cannot
would say,
eat.
I'll always say it's still ube.
So ube.
Ube.
One ingredient you want to work with in the future that you haven't tried yet.
Oh, that's, I think I want to work with foie gras.
Oh, are you going to make foie gras into a dessert?
Maybe we can put inside the chocolate and break it open.
That is
You know what,
interesting.
Chef? You need
Why
to
not?
send us
That is
your...
interesting. Yeah,
you need to send
If
us
it
your
happens,
tester.
Chef,
Yeah.
we need to be one of your taste
Yes.
testers.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to be on the show
For
again. Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
That would be amazing
gras.
with like dark chocolate, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Because it's buttery, so I think.
Oh yeah, directors, they're also asking in the control room.
Yes.
They're also part of the taste test.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good,
yeah, if
good.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you won't have you'll have a lot of guinea pigs.
Right? Last question. Your
Yeah.
dream collaboration, dead or alive?
It's Amore Guichon.
Ooh, and why?
Because for me, he's at the top of his game, and I want to see how he actually does it. I just want to get more inspired again, you know. So I think that's the best collab ever.
Oh, I love that. Do you have any advice? You know what? I might start going into pastry. Do you have any advice for anybody, for our viewers that are watching who
Yeah.
want to start, cooking, doing
Yes.
chocolatier?
Yeah.
What's your advice to them,
My
Chef?
advice is just to be authentic and to just remember if what you're doing is really something you're passionate about, and nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I just don't know what to say anymore because I just want to eat Anne's mochi that's just sitting there.
I'm keeping
Well,
it
you still
already.
have the snack bar later to eat
I
as well.
know, my
I'm
goodness.
rarely left speechless, but that is
Yeah,
one of the times
same.
that I actually
It's
I'm at a loss of words.
it's that heavenly experience.
Right.
You know,
You
that-
can't say anything yet. You haven't tried it.
Don't fake it, girl. You haven't eaten it.
I'm not faking it. I'm actually describing the way you guys are speechless right now.
It's the first time we're speechless. So thank you, Anne, for taking over, and thank you to your intermittent fasting.
Yeah. And thank you. I'm saving
Thank
this
you
for
for
later.
coming.
Thank
'cause I
you
know
for having me here.
It's
Yes.
been the best. I know you're flying
Thank you.
out back to Dubai tomorrow, so
Yes.
thank you for giving us time.
Thank you so much.
Chef.
It's really a pleasure. Really a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef Nouel Catis.
Now, after a powerful earthquake hit our neighboring country, Myanmar, Philippine authorities warned the public once again to be prepared for the big one. But how vulnerable exactly are our houses and the buildings that surround us? We talked to an expert after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, with the influx of travelers this Holy Week, ensuring the safety, comfort, and efficiency of public transportation is more important than ever, especially under the intense summer heat. Talk about the measures being implemented by the provincial bus operators to ensure a safe and smooth travel experience for the riding public. We're joined by Mr. Alex Yage, the Executive Director of the Nakakaisang Samahan ng Nangangasiwa ng Panlalawigan Bus sa Pilipinas Incorporated. Good morning, Sir Alex. It's a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to all our televiewers today.
Sir Alex, unang-una, can you give us a brief background po on your organization at ano po ang role ng organization na to, especially during this Holy Week season?
Well, nagkakaisang samahan ng nangangasiwa ng panlalawigang bus sa Pilipinas is the former Provincial Bus Operators Association of the Philippines. It is composed of all the major provincial bus operators operating all over the Philippines.
Sir
So we
Yagi,
have a lot of members coming all the way from Luzon to Mindanao.
Sir Yagi, ano yung expectations po ninyo in terms of yung volume ng travelers, especially during the Holy Week season po?
We are expecting a record number of passengers this 2025 because since the pandemic, this is the first time na synchronize ang vacation schedules ng klase, pati yung actual summer vacation because during the pandemic, nagbago yung school schedule. But now it's synchronized. So, tamang-tama, bakasyon, and then magandang weather, at saka yung mga major improvements sa kalsada na widening ng toll roads ay nakompleto nila. Kaya we expect na it will be a record number of passengers this year.
Well, sir, given the fact na yung expectation po ay record number of passengers, ano mga preparations po or at least yung mga requirements na nagawa po ninyo for these provincial operators to handle yung load na to?
Actually, malaki din na improvement because LTFRB authorized the issuance of more than 1,000 units, bus units, for special permit during the season. And this is issued special permits some of them are city bus operators, which were given special permits to travel to the provinces to accommodate the record number of passengers this year.
So anong requirements po ng special permits?
Kailangan qualified yung units na i-apply mo. It should be 10 years and 10 years old or younger para ma-qualify sa LTFRB. And you cannot abandon yung previous route mo. You can only apply 25% of your franchise, present franchise, if you're operating in Metro Manila or you're operating in another provincial route, to apply for the special permit on the preferred route na you are going to use the buses.
Sir, as of late po, we are seeing record high temperatures po, especially sa mga heat index in certain areas, in certain provinces. Are there any steps being taken po to ensure the safety of both yung driver, the conductors, and of course, yung mga makina po natin for all the vehicles that they are able to handle yung mga extreme conditions po nito?
That's right. Due to the extreme condition, special care din ang kailangan ng mga buses, pati yung drivers. That's why we have air-conditioned lounges for in some of the terminals, the major terminals, mayroong air-conditioned lounges for the passengers and also for the drivers. And yung special care will be on the drivers because they will be driving for so many hours, no?
Opo.
That's why nag-specify kami between 3 to 4 hours they have to have either a rest stop, we call it a jingle stop or milk stop, or a way where all the passengers can break stop the trip and then relax for a while, and then after 20 minutes proceed to their destination.
Sir, let's talk about the terminals po because sa mga terminal we are expecting larger crowds as well. Of course, may crowd management aspect. At the same time po, there are going to be or at least procedures or at least mga gagawin para ito ensure na wala pong mga delay. In terms of yung terminal management po, what needs to be done to ensure na mas smooth yung traveling period po natin during this Holy Week season?
Of course, meron din tayong security issues na dapat i-implement, no? Kailangan merong metal detector test. In some terminals, gumagamit sila ng canine dogs to ensure na walang contraband na naisasakay sa bus. And then pagka yung destination is really that maraming volume, ay nagagamit yung mga special permit buses na ito na para ma-accommodate yung mga extra number of passengers.
What normally are the biggest concerns po of yung mga provincial operators po natin, especially during this period? We obviously listed yung mga ibang challenges po when it comes to the expected record number of passengers. Pero from a operational standpoint po, ano yung mga biggest challenges sa mga provincial operators po natin?
Actually, yung weather ang pinaka-importante. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng weather disturbance, tapos yung mga ferry doon sa mga ferry ports, no, that connect the islands na ginagamit ng mga buses. Pag hindi nakabiyahe yan, may stranded yung mga buses, yung mga pasahero. So the weather is the number one issue. The second issue doon, yung traffic, no, sa kalsada, yung turnaround. Kaya maganda itong year na to na-implement ng mga toll road operators na widening nila yung mga existing toll roads. Kaya mas mabilis ngayon ang turnaround. At saka aside from the public utility buses kasi meron ding mga expected din yung mga nagdadala ng sariling sasakyan going to the provinces. So, yun ang second issue, yung turnaround. Kaya we're very happy because MMDA allowed us to use EDSA during this period, no? So, we can use EDSA in accessing our terminals in Metro Manila, including Cubao. So, makakatulong ito to improve the turnaround of buses to and from the provinces.
Well, you mentioned po that there are also going to be private vehicles that take into account, especially when it comes to yung mga turnaround of buses and of course the traffic situation. Pero para lang hindi magulat yung mga private car owners as well, how many buses are we actually expecting to ply around the Philippines during this Holy Week period po?
Actually, if you're talking of the total public duty provincial bus operators in the country, there's about 24,000 of them, no? But if you're talking about those that go to Metro Manila, ang franchise buses from Metro Manila going to the north is about around 4,000 buses yan. And from Metro Manila going to the south of the Manila, going to Visayas, Mindanao, around 4,000 buses din yan. So we're talking about 8,000 buses plus the additional 1,000 buses na that were given a special permit by the LTFRB.
Sir, what are your key messages and reminders po for everyone na babiyahe sa Holy Week period, especially those taking buses going out to the provinces po?
Actually, they have to, as much as possible, travel light. They have to go to their destinations at least mga 2 hours before their scheduled departure. In some cases kasi like in PITX, no, which is the major provincial bus terminal in Metro Manila, ang bus unit is only given about 20 to 30 minutes to load passengers. So pag yung window ng loading na yon na miss ng pasahero yon, may iwanan siya ng biyahe. So they have to be there early. And then the third one is yung if they have a chance na may ipadala yung kargamento nila, if they are going to bring a lot of pasalubong, no, sa probinsya, if they can send the pasalubong earlier, no, or later, ipadala nila. May mga services na cargo padala ang mga bus operators. So they can avail of this service. So when they travel, mas maginhawa. And then dun sa mga magdadala ng mga alaga nilang hayop, no? There are some trips na pet friendly, no? But they have to book in advance kasi itong mga trips na to may mga kondisyones ito. Kailangan may nakadiaper yung alaga na aso, meron sariling cage o meron sariling upuan. So they just have to make online booking para mas madali maitanong nila doon sa mga official Facebook pages ng mga bus operators, so they can ask the questions and then makita nila kung ano yung mga conditions para maisakay nila yung mga kanilang kargamento or yung kanilang alagang hayop.
Maraming salamat po. He is the Executive Director of the nagkakaisang samahan ng nangangasiwa ng panglalawigang bus sa Pilipinas Incorporated, Mr. Alex Yage. Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for joining us on It's a Beautiful Day.
Thank you very much for the chance to be able to show our capacity to serve our people. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you so much. Now that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, girls, Anne.
Thank you so much, Pao. Now, let's find out if today is going to be your lucky day. Let's find out from Feng Shui Master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Wednesday, April 16. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, maglaan ng oras sa pagbuo ng long-term goals. Ito ang magbibigay direksyon sa iyong karera. Pink at 6. Year of the Ox naman, mag-ingat sa pagkain ng labis na matatamis upang maiwasan ang komplikasyon sa kalusugan. Peach at 3. Year of Tiger naman tayo, iwasan ang pagiging complacent. Lagi kang magbigay ng best effort mo. Yellow at 8. Year of the Rabbit naman, kumain ng balanced diet para sa magandang kalusugan. Magenta at 4. Year of Dragon naman, ang pagmamahal ay hindi magminamadali. Bigyan ng oras ang sarili para mahanap ang tamang tao. Aqua at 9. Year of the Snake naman tayo, huwag kalimutan ang tamang oras ng tulog para sa mas magandang kalusugan. Peach at 3. Ito naman kay Year of the Horsey. Maglaan ng porsyento ng iyong sahod para sa savings. Magenta at 3. Sa Year of the Sheep naman tayo para tiliing active ang katawan through regular exercise. Green at 1. Kay Year of the Monkey naman tayo, ang pagiging matyaga sa trabaho ay magdadala ng tagumpay. Beige at 6. Kay Rooster naman tayo, huwag hayaang masira ang tiwala dahil sa maling desisyon. Maging tapat sa lahat ng oras. Blue at 7. Kay Year of the Dog naman tayo, iwasan mag-procrastinate upang mas mabilis matapos ang mga gawain. Orange at 6. Kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, maglaan ng oras para sa self-improvement ng mga courses. White at 5. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day with me, Master Hans Kua.
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. Now, would a relationship survive after one gets caught cheating? At what cost? That story in today's Love Hacks with Coach B. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back, so don't go away. Hi there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now, in love, forgiveness must come with a price. But how much are you willing to pay? In today's Love Hacks, we hear a story of a man crushed by the weight of his own guilt and his partner's anger 2 years after he cheated. Take it away, Coach V.
Good morning, loves. It's a beautiful day. Coach V here, your go-to love solution provider, bringing you a brand new way to level up your love life. Welcome to Love Hacks. Today's episode, tricky. Let me ask you a question. What if Jesus forgave like we do in relationships? Aren't you glad that God's grace doesn't come with guilt tripping? Nako, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything, providing everything, apologizing every day, and still ending up the bad guy, this episode is for you. Because sometimes, love, in relationships, you give them the world and they still ask, why didn't you answer my text in 3 minutes? Nako, let's read today's love confession from a public forum. Here's the full post from a guy who sounds tired and honestly, desperate to feel like human again. And take it away.
Okay, dapat kay Pao to, but let me do this. Ang bigat-bigat na dalhin ng girlfriend ko. In our 4-year relationship, ako nagpo-provide ng lahat. Money, food, bills. Well, siguro kasalanan ko rin kasi sa sobrang princess treatment na gusto kong gawin for her, hindi ko na siya pinatrabaho. Sira daw kasi confidence niya. Hirap na siya maghanap ng work since pandemic. Ayun, sobrang nalugmok. Gusto kong maging superhero ng buhay niya eh. Okay lang sana, kayang-kaya ko namang tiisin, pero araw-araw kami nag-aaway. Araw-araw niya akong sinasabihan ng masasakit na salita. One moment, okay kami, pero pag di lang ako nakareply agad or di ko masagot ang call niya, kung ano-ano na sinasabi sa akin. Minsan, busy lang sa work, iniisip niya nakikipagkita na ako sa iba. Hindi kumpleto ang isang linggo na di siya nanghihinala. Mahal na mahal ko siya, pero nahihirapan na akong pakisamahan siya. Sinasabi ko rin, kasalanan ko rin naman. Nagloko ako 2 years ago. Pinatawad niya ako, pero araw-araw niya akong pinaparamdam na di pa siya healed. Naiintindihan ko naman, baka di pa siya nag-heal. Tiniis ko pa rin lahat kahit sobrang hirap na niyang mahalin.
Thank you, Anne. Let's talk about this and let's keep this real. This man is an emotional debt. He made a mistake, yes. He spent 2 years repaying a sin he already confessed. Well, now let's ask ourselves, love, when someone forgives us but never stop punishing you, what do you call that? Have you experienced being cheated? Tapos is it natural that you forgive and forget? Nako, because this isn't redemption anymore. It's resentment wearing a wedding ring. And here's what makes this worse, The guy's still trying, he's still providing, showing up, holding her pain while choking on his silence. But let's be honest here, he's not her boyfriend anymore. Para na siyang emotional landfill. Well, since it's Holy Week, my love, let me ask you something. What if Jesus forgave like we do in relationship? Yung parang ganito, I forgive you, but I'm bringing it up every day. I love you, but I'll remind you of what you did forever. Or you're redeemed, but not really. Aren't you glad God's grace doesn't come with guilt trips? That's when we say, oh, forgive us our trespasses. He doesn't reply with, didn't you already trespass last Thursday at 3 p.m.? Nako, to my fellow co-host, if this was you, what would you do?
Oof. Well, I think that's the thing, Like it's not really forgiving, diba? Kasi if you say you forgive, but then you don't really forgive kasi you keep on bringing it back. Like it's a different thing.
How about the ladies? Diba sometimes traumatic when somebody cheated on you?
That's
Mabilis
true.
bang kalimutan yon just because you took him back?
Hold on, I just want to know what's the context of what the Reddit post was.
I'm lost. I can't answer because I don't know what
Let's keep you posted after the show, Monique.
I'm so sorry. There was this guy who cheated on his girl,
2
and
years
after
ago.
so many years, the girl hasn't really gotten over it yet. She's
Yes.
still not healed, and so he feels like it's emotional baggage.
Yeah, she punishes him every
okay.
day.
Yes.
All right, so now I know. So now I can answer. Okay, thank you so much.
Kailangan translate. Ang hirap ng
Guys, I said English.
Sa inyo, English na lang
deep
dapat.
Tagalog.
We need the English version
Yes,
for
yes,
Mo
yes.
while
All
we're
right.
reading.
Actually, thank you. But anyway, so I think in that case, if you can't get over what that person did, in this case it's cheating, then you should just separate. Because if you're going to hold it against him forever, then there's no point.
Yeah.
It's not really forgiving.
And that's my 2 cents after
Okay,
the
how about you,
translation.
Monique? Anne?
Same thing. If you can't get over what that person did to you, then it's better to not hold on to the relationship anymore. Because you're going to carry that. And you don't even want that for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Right? That's
hard
too heavy to bring. And every day, every single day that you see your partner, you're reminded
maalala
of
mo.
that.
And it's, you just feel heavy and then you're pissed, like,
Absolutely.
remember that one time, or, oh, who are you talking to?
Diba?
It's just
Biglang
annoying.
ang dami mong sasabi, no?
I know the content.
Diba? But just to be clear, this is not an excuse for the guy. He cheated. He really committed a mistake.
Right.
But then, oo nga, no, when you're always reminded, parang kulang na lang sabihin mo, just let me go.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Did you know, loves, that in 2020, a study by a psychologist, Everett Worthington, found that people who struggle to forgive report higher levels of depression, anxiety, and relationship dissatisfaction, just like what you ladies and Pao is saying, diba? Stressful, and alam nyo naman, the cause of cancer is stress. So, yep, holding on to resentment isn't noble. It's neurotoxic. It affects your brain, your body, and yes, your relationship survival. So, eto na, loves. What is the solution? What do you do when you're carrying both your guilt and their pain? Number 1, forgiveness must come with release. Ay, that's ganda nun. If they say, I forgive you, but use it as an ammo in every argument, that's not peace. That's psychological warfare. Number 2, are we really healing or are we hostage taking? If love feels like a courtroom, maybe you're not in a relationship anymore. Maybe you're in a life sentence with no parole. Number 3, you're allowed to want joy again. Even if you made a mistake, even if you were the villain once, you don't have to stay there forever. And 4, if you're the one who was hurt, you're allowed to take time. But if you choose to stay, sabi nga ng mga co-host ko, choose to rebuild, not rewind. Well, to the man who posted this, you are not your past, you are not your punishment, and you are not less worthy of love because you've failed before, as long as hindi mo na uulitin, ha? Loves, this Holy Week, let's remember, God doesn't forgive with reminders. Hindi niya sinasabi na, remember, may kasalanan ka yesterday, ba? He forgives with renewal. So, if your relationship looks more like crucifixion than connection, then maybe it's time to rise too. Remember, loves, love doesn't mean you have to suffer in silence. You can love someone and still say, I'm not your villain anymore. I've changed. Please meet me here. That's it for today, loves. This is Coach V giving you real talk about real love. Want help navigating yung mga love after mistakes? DM me at Dating Coach V and let's work it out with truth, sass, and healing. Let's not just talk about love, let's solve it. Join me again next week and have a beautiful Holy Week. Love you.
Amen. That was a beautiful spiel with all the little inserts. I said, wow, Coach V, that was great. I loved it.
Thank you, love. And happy Holy
Bakit
Week.
ganun yung tsura niya, Paolo?
Ay, hindi masaya si Pao.
Hindi
Sa
mo
advice natin.
tatamaan ka ba?
No, I'm just saying it's so clever ng galing, like how she intertwined this with the crucifixion and how Jesus forgave without...
Okay, you were impressed with how she wrote it. Okay, no, I was just thinking because you understood the context na eh. Or...
I was just so impressed with how she brought it together.
So we thought
And I said,
you
wow.
actually, related to the whole topic.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
forgiveness.
Because you
No.
actually understood what you were talking about.
I mean, yeah, when I forgive, if I say I forgive you, there's no point in holding a grudge.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know, this never happened to me, knock on wood.
If the boy-
I want this to happen. But,
Knock on the couch.
where's my wood? Where's the wood? Ayan, wood. There you go.
If the boyfriend is watching, just so you know, she will forgive you. No, just joking.
Okay na lang so far. That's so funny.
It isn't. Yeah.
But that's incredible. But again, Coach V, maraming salamat. We really appreciate you being here. And of course, with all of the Holy Week references that Mo did enjoy.
I did. Yes, it was in English, so thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
But
This
we-
actually reminded me of the bracelets that we used to wear in the 90s. Yung what would Jesus do?
WWE.
Yeah, the bracelets.
Yeah,
Because when you said, what if Jesus forgave the way we forgave in relationships? And I was like, ooh, like the bracelet.
Yeah,
I mean, but it
Jesus
is
do?
easier said than done.
Yes, it's true.
Super.
Yeah.
I mean, like at the end of the
still
day, then
humans.
it's still you have to. I guess really delve into whether or not is it still baggage or not,
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Well, Coach Fee, we really appreciate you being here once again, and that will actually lead us into our Holy Week break. So we're gonna see you next week instead, and of
Don't
course,
miss us too much.
well, no, miss us a lot. All right. I mean, like, just comment on the Facebook and the YouTube that you missed Paolo in particular. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you again next week. Do enjoy your Holy Week break and have a blissful and restful one. This is our show for Wednesday, April 16. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you so much for making us your daily morning habit. Now, wherever this Holy Week leads you, find time to pause, spread kindness, and embrace forgiveness.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. May you all have a blessed and restful Holy Week. Join us again on Monday at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a beautiful day!